Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. You gotta dream. You gotta protect it. You want something, go get it. Period.
What's up, guys? Jay here with the For the Left podcast, episode 29. And I'm here with somebody that has been in my life since day one. And I thought it'd be cool to sit down, have a little conversation since I get to see him about maybe once a year in person. That's my father, Thomas Bandy. Tom, what's up?
What's up, kiddo?
So I thought it'd be cool to just sit down, have a real conversation with your son, because I'm now 35 years old, and I think that it's a little different to talk to me at this age than probably any time in life before, maybe. As I get older and my mind gets different, and
Well, especially when I'm not around.
well, yeah, but I also feel that times are just changing, and as I get older and my mind changes and I get more mature and stuff like that, you can kind of connect with your parents a little bit more and understand things more.
I think you've seen the light a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I have. That's true. So I said, let's sit down and talk about some things.
All right, ask away,
so-
man. You know what? I can say anything to you.
Yeah, you can. That's true. That's how it's supposed to be. And we kind of always, I think we always had that like relationship really, where I was able to like, you were always a pretty chill parent for the most part. You always had a chill personality. I think that's where I kind of get a lot of my chillness.
Yeah, I'm a mellow guy. I
Yeah.
like to be mellow.
Yeah. But my personality is kind of like, I'm very mellow and chill, but you cannot cross a line, because that line, when it's crossed, it just brings me to a different level. Do you have that? Is that kind of your personality or no? Or are you just always kind of chill?
You know, I would say I have a temper, yes.
Well, everybody probably does.
Yeah, I have a temper to a certain degree, and I can really blast out some noise, can't I?
Yeah. But let me ask you this. My thing is this. Most things don't make me angry unless other than the people close to me. Those are the only things that can really probably make me mad or like hit a...
So I make you mad?
You could. If you did something to bother me or hurt me, then yeah, that would be probably...
Oh, I see
You
what
get
you're
what I'm
saying.
saying? Like,
Okay.
meaning like,
Yes.
I don't like...
I just thought maybe like a argument that... just a ridiculous argument that we're having and make you pissed off.
More. It will more or less than it would with a civilian, not a civilian, but like meaning a private citizen or a citizen or a person I don't know. That's the beer. He's a beer lover. And listen,
Beer
it's so
lover.
funny because I'm 35, but
I'm drinking one now.
even people in my generation still love beer and stuff. But it's just funny to see, because it's like me growing up, it's like everybody's dad loved beer. Everybody's dad loved beer, and still. You meet people and that's all their dads love beer. Dads love beer.
Well, when you live in the Midwest,
Yeah.
you know, beer, we had like Pabst Blue Ribbon, Strohs, you know, that
Yeah.
were brewed in the Detroit area.
Yeah.
It was always Pabst or Schlitz or something
That's
like
what you
that.
grew up on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I seen my dad always grab was a Pabst.
Yeah.
And then I'd go to my grandpa's and we'd shoot pool downstairs, you know.
Yeah.
He always had that refrigerator down there, and he'd play that song, Charlie Brown, doo-doo-doo-doo, you're a clown.
on repeat. That's
Yeah,
funny.
and we'd play pool. He'd bring all his grandkids down there and shoot some pool, you know,
Yeah.
and he'd let me take a sip of a beer.
Ooh, how old
and I
were
was
you?
only 7 years old.
Oh, snap. You want to know what's funny is I probably didn't have my first beer till I was in my teenage years, like 13, 14 maybe. Maybe a little even older than that. I never liked alcohol too much, contrary to what people believe.
Isn't
But-
that something? Because, you know, it's a little bit engraved into the history.
The Bandy history?
Yes.
You think it's a genetic thing?
I think part of it is, yeah.
Yeah.
It can hit somebody in the family, but not everybody.
Well, possibly. I mean, I do think that everybody has some sort of like vice in a way.
More
A vice.
a vice.
Yeah, you know what I mean, like, or a flaw that is in their life that they do, such as drinking, smoking, doing drugs, things like that.
Yeah,
That's
You're starting at such an early age, like you said, 14. Heck, I did it at 14. So what triggers that at that age?
yeah.
You know. It's
Well, usually it's
like,
peer
you see
pressure.
everybody having fun, and
It's peer
you're like, hey,
pressure.
let me try that.
Yeah, it's peer pressure for the most part. You know what I mean? But the thing was this: you don't know until you try. In reality, so for me, I
Let me
never.
tell you something. I've tried a lot.
Yeah, Miami in the '80s. That's what we're
Well,
gonna get at. We're gonna
Miami-
get to that because you want to know what people don't know this, but I was not. I was born in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in 1985,
Yes, you were.
and it's kind of weird because like every time I go back to Florida, I just feel some type of connection there, and I also feel like where you're born kind of dictates certain things, like how you feel in certain weathers and stuff like that. So like, because I live in Connecticut for majority of my life, I feel like I was like, I'm warm blooded though because I was born in Florida because I hate the cold.
See, how long were you in Michigan? Maybe a year?
No, not that. Maybe I say 4. No, maybe 3 years at least in Michigan.
No.
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 I left there when I was 5.
Shit hit the fan real quick.
Hey, I wouldn't know. Yeah, for those who don't know, my parents are divorced. I always had my majority of my life they were, and that's just all I really knew. And like, it's kind of ironic because like, it's very common nowadays in life for that to happen, rather than in like the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, probably even in when you were.
You know what? I tell you what, Jay. Back in the 50s in Flint, Michigan, that town was just a rockin'. I mean, it was a rockin' town.
Yeah,
50s.
that's what they say about New Haven and stuff like that too.
That's when GM was thriving. It was right after the war,
Mhm.
and people were like walking down the streets having a good time, going to movies and shit, and
Yeah.
everybody had a job, and people were moving up to Flint, Michigan,
Yeah.
to get a job,
Wow.
like Missouri and all them places.
Yeah,
Everybody was coming up.
where were those factories based out of, really? What towns in Michigan?
Detroit. Well, that's
Most
of
of them?
Yeah, that's.
They had some.
But they have a lot of them in the suburbs.
Yeah, they have a lot of other
Saginaw.
properties around where they build and do
Right,
some stuff for
right.
them, right?
Right.
Because I remember in
Yes.
Grandpa's town they had
And they
some.
get tax if they build in the city.
They
They
get
get a
tax
tax
breaks.
break. I mean, like big
Yeah.
time.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So the mayors are in cahoots with GM.
Oh, of course. Don't get me started. That's a touchy subject right now with my situation. A lot of people not mad, but misconstrued on what they want to portray here. But anyways, you see that shit all the time. It's common knowledge at this point. You already see what's going on. But
Yeah,
so-
I don't. It's gotten to a certain point where. What else can you say?
yeah, no, can't
Just
say anything.
Just go on with your life.
Yeah, true that. Now, so all right, so let's move back here. Now, you were born where?
Flint, Michigan.
In Flint, Michigan. Everybody
Yes.
knows Flint, Michigan now.
Home of
mainly because
home of Chris Bird. Remember
that
him?
is true. I did get an autographed photo of Chris Bird. He used to live behind my father, and most people probably don't know who Chris Bird is, but it's funny because some people do that follow boxing. So, like, I have a buddy who follows boxing. He knows who Chris Bird is, but not many people do. But people who follow does.
Right,
He was a
and,
boxer back in the '90s.
He did fight Evander Holyfield
Yeah.
at one point, but it was in Evander's latter years.
Yeah.
And he knocked him out
Yeah,
because Evander was old.
Yeah. Well,
So
is what it is. But I remember that. I remember he lived behind you. I got his autograph. That was funny. So I used to go to Michigan every year in the summer for like a month. And I would fly out there with my sister. We'd fly on a plane, just me and her. And we'd go from Connecticut to Michigan, stay there for a month. And I just remember when I was young going to Grandpa's a lot, playing golf. That's really where I learned to play golf, was Michigan. And I remember definitely going to all the training camps and like the Detroit
Lions.
games. I used to go to, a big thing was the Thanksgiving Day games in Lions Stadium. That was the Silver Dome at that time. I was lucky enough to see the Silver Dome, see old Tiger Stadium.
You went to Tiger Stadium?
Yeah, we went there.
Yeah, well, yeah, we probably did.
Yeah, we did. I remember we did.
What was
But,
it year? 1989, I think we moved in there.
Yeah, so, but just throughout the years, even when I was coming
From Fort Lauderdale, imagine that.
I know. How did I get stuck here? Jesus.
Fort Lauderdale to Flint, Michigan.
And Connecticut. Nah, that's where I got stuck. But it is what it is. You know, everything happens for a reason. And that's why we're here today, because it's just an interesting, life circle.
And I'm on my vacation, so.
Yeah, he's in the wonderful land
wonderful
of Connecticut.
World of, partying.
Yeah. Well, we said, he got off the plane. I said, hey, welcome to Connecticut. We're only good for pizza and the ocean. And the ocean's not even that nice here.
And I just said, well, how about beer?
We got that. So you're born in Flint, Michigan, and you mainly grew up there?
Well, I went we lived on the north end of Flint.
Yeah.
And let me think. Yep. And I think it was in the north end of Flint for when I turned 11. Then we moved out.
Yeah. Where'd you go after that?
We went to Swartz Creek, which is just west of Flint.
Mm-hmm.
And
I remember that. Yeah.
But my true memories of being a kid were in Flint.
Really?
It was just because I had a brother then, and
yeah.
I had a brother, but I didn't have a dad.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
So your older brother kind of was like the guy you looked up to.
I always followed my brother, and we always did shit,
Gotcha.
sports and all that, together.
Yeah.
He was 5 years older than me.
5 years.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Bob.
Name? Bobby.
Yeah. Robert, Bobby.
That same thing as Grandpa.
Right.
Yeah. And was that the oldest child?
No, Debbie. Debbie, my sister
Oh,
Debbie.
Gotcha. Okay.
Aunt Debbie.
Yeah, Aunt Debbie, what's up? So
you got Aunt Debbie,
mm-hmm.
oldest, then Uncle Bobby,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got Aunt Sally that, we know all about her.
Don't know what's going on there, but okay. Yeah.
Never mind.
MAGA.
And we got Robin, me, and then, of course, my sister who got killed in 1977.
Okay, so you had, how many total siblings is that?
5.
5. All right, so you grew
5
up.
siblings and me.
All right. So 6 total?
Yeah.
Wow, 6 kids. That is a big family. So you grew up, you went from Flint to Saginaw, or
No.
Swartz Creek, Swartz Creek, and now you get to high school. Your brother's still around in high school, 5 years older than you. Now, was he still around during that time, like in high school?
Nope. Well, let me see. I think he did go right straight to Miami after his when he graduated.
High school.
So I was like
So when you were in high school, he wasn't around?
7th grade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I take that back. But I know I was in school when he took off.
Yeah.
So I didn't,
Did you know he was going to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was living with us.
Yeah.
Me and my mom.
Well, he wasn't that. You mean down there?
No, in Swartz Creek.
Yeah, but he wasn't that old at that time. He was in high school, no? When did he go down?
No.
You said after he graduated, he took off, right? Graduated what?
Pretty
High school?
close, yes. I'm going to say yes, pretty close.
All right, and you were how old when he took off?
Let me see. If he graduated in 74,
Mm-hmm.
so I would have been in 7th grade.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking maybe a couple years after that, or a year, maybe.
Yeah.
But
So shortly after high school, he leaves and goes to Miami.
Yep.
So he wasn't around here when you were in high school. When you were in high school, he was in Florida.
Well, maybe for a year or two. I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember, but
Gotcha.
yeah, he wasn't there a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you get to high school, you don't really have him around, and
No dad.
yeah,
And I, my mom, she's trying to make ends meet
yeah,
and brings a couple guys that I meet, that
Yeah,
she
yeah,
brings
yeah.
over and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Mhm. Well, when you look back at that, like, do you think that bothered you?
I it, it I don't think it helped because some of them were assholes,
Yeah. True, understandable.
and I had some disagreements with me. Of course, I was a kid too.
Yeah.
and
You
I
don't
wasn't
know
taking
better.
Shit.
Well, yeah, and you don't know better. And the other thing is
I mean, this guy's dating my mom. I say, hey, man, you're gonna have to put up with me too.
I like it. Yeah, good shit.
Right.
That's funny. So, all right. So, now in high school, did you have a good high school experience?
Oh,
Bad?
man,
What
I had
was
a
it?
blast. It was
Yeah.
a blast. Back in them
70s,
days,
right?
79, I graduated,
Yeah.
and let me tell you, Jay, I've had some classes where I go in and sit there for 5 minutes and get bored and say, I need the bathroom pass. So the teacher will give me the bathroom pass, and I'll come back 5 minutes before it's supposed to end.
Oh man, they don't.
And I just throw the key on his desk.
That's great.
That's the way it was.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, it's funny because you see school now, it's like not even close to that. But that's funny because it reminds me of like those movies, like the '70s movies that you watch with
Or that
with high school and
movie
stuff.
with the Simple Minds song, Breakfast Club.
Yeah. Or Dazed and Confused. You ever see that? That's what the one that reminds me a lot of what I think the '70s was. So did you?
Even that show, the 70s.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah, exactly. Now, so you had long hair. I remember you showing me pictures. Long hair in high school. Mustache. You had a mustache too.
Uh,
I always remembered you with a mustache when I was growing up.
Yep, I had a mustache. I showed you a picture yesterday.
Yeah.
I was probably 23 that time, and yeah, I had some dark hair, and just like you right now.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Yeah. So this is where I get my genetics from, people. That's why I said figure I'll bring them on. Thank you very much for that. Not to be any which way, but I'm very happy with myself.
I'm just glad to be with you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the same.
Where's my girlfriend for my beer?
I don't
Jeez.
know. Where'd she go?
Gosh.
She doesn't understand time limit.
No, I need a drink.
But all right. So high school, good experience. You play sports in high school?
Football. Well, I played freshman, sophomore. Went out for junior or senior year. I skipped junior.
Yeah.
I thought I'd just be a social guy. Pump iron during the off year.
Gotcha.
And then do senior.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the year, I quit.
Yeah. Why?
There's just too much going on in my life at the time. I had a job. I just got a car.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
Different priorities.
be social.
Gotcha. Well, I feel like back then it was different. It was either
I didn't quit because I'm a quitter.
no, yeah, it was a different thing. It was like you were either a social, like you said, or you were a
And
jock.
let's be clear about this, because that was my senior year, and my sister just got ran over by a car.
Yeah, I don't remember that story. Go back to that story. So, how did that happen? You were in 10th grade, you said?
I was in 10th grade, and I can remember the day that it happened, but I had a hard practice in football, and of course it was a Friday night, so we were teenagers.
Yeah.
So we went out and partied at one guy's house, and we're all partying, and of course them days it was pretty easy to party.
Yeah. Sure.
But I can remember the knock on the door over there because it was my sister's boyfriend to come over to give me the news.
Which sister?
Robin.
Okay.
Actually, it's Gino's brother. She used to go out with him in high school.
Gotcha.
You know, but anyhow, I could just, and you know, I was having a few vodkas that night and
Yeah.
just partying, having a couple joints,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and we were just partying away, and I can remember just seeing that guy's face and him pull up into the driveway with my sister's car. I just see his face like it was such a the lowest frown I ever seen.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Jackie's dead."
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, my buzz at that I had a
That
big,
was it.
my
Just,
buzz
wow.
was done. Right when he said that, my buzz was like I wasn't even buzzed anymore.
It's like, you know what's crazy about that when you're saying that is it makes me feel like because it was obvious. You describe his face, which obviously is the first thing you see, makes you probably know something's not going right. And then when he says that, it's just like I almost wonder if like the energy of that and everything, you knew there was no way that it was not. It was like fake, you know? It had to be real.
It had to be real
Yeah,
because of the way he looked.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what's crazy about it.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy.
And you know, when you see a person you've never seen that look on their face before, but you've seen it then, you know something's wrong if you know the person really well.
Yeah.
And I did.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah, you're right.
man, it was just. But anyhow,
Yeah, what's the
you know,
story?
she
How
got
did
hit
this
by a
happen?
car, and
But how?
I guess a guy he was a little mentally impaired a little bit, but he was supposed to not drink at all ever, and he worked on a farm right there in the area, and just had a couple beers, and he lost his mind and hit the gravel when my sister was riding her bike,
Really?
and just knocked her right off her bike. And here's the funny part: I just met the woman. Sean knows her, my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Just met the woman that incident happened in front of her house.
You just met her? That's
like
wild.
about a year ago, maybe.
Wow. How?
Well, she went to school with us.
Yeah, yeah.
She didn't go to school with me, but
Right.
Sean.
Yeah.
And we're just riding our bikes down the road, and we see her at the playground with her kids. And she told me the story. She says, I'll never forget that look that cop gave me when that guy hit Jackie. She said, he looked at all of us and said, "This is why you can't ride a bike on the main roads." Now, I take that the wrong way
Yeah.
because, you know, the way I take it is that he was so upset himself for what he's seen that
Probably, yeah.
he was taking his anger out on the people that were
Mhm.
watching us,
Mhm.
watching it,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
So,
I can see that. And that's what she was talking about?
who?
That's what the lady that you said in front of the lady you
Yeah,
just met?
she was telling me that's
what she
remember
didn't-
Lisa Castle. She was telling me it happened right in front of her house. And I
Mhm.
didn't even know that. And the girl that she visited, her girlfriend, like I didn't even know that about a year ago about Lynn Sievert. That's Kim Campbell's favorite best friend, another best friend of my sister's.
Yeah.
And she went to go visit Lynn Sievert. And shit, I've been Facebook friends with Lynn Sievert. I said, geez, you know,
That's crazy.
finally telling me this?
Yeah.
But, you know,
That's funny. Funny how things
it's
work.
just coincidental, you know.
Yeah. So now,
Anyway.
obviously, that's a big life impact. You're in 10th grade, not really a normal thing to deal with. So what happens? What's like the aftermath of that?
Life goes on, man.
Yeah, obviously not easy though.
Well, yeah, it wasn't easy, and it's because I wanted to. I was the most concerned about my mother,
Yeah.
because mothers losing a child is just
Right. Right.
so. And I've seen it in my mom, and I wanted to be there. I
Yeah.
just wanted to stay close. And you know what the funny thing is? After that happened, she had a husband. Remember Charlie? Remember Charlie?
Yeah. Yeah.
He also passed away, and usually on a Friday night, I was living with my mom at the
Mhm.
time,
Mhm.
and usually on a Friday night, I go out and party.
Yeah.
And for some reason that night, when my stepdad crashed, for some reason, the night before it happened, I stayed home that night. And it was a Friday night, and I was probably 35, 36 years old.
Really? Wow.
What was it, 30 years ago? Maybe not.
Really?
Yeah, it was about that age, living with them. And I can remember them two detectives coming up with
This is when Charlie died.
yeah,
Yeah. How did he
regular
die?
clothes. They had.
Car accident? He died in a car
Yeah,
accident?
he crashed going the wrong way in the highway, and it's a big story. I mean,
Oh, wow.
he never came home and tried to come home. He relapsed. He was an alcoholic. So
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
relapsed.
Yeah. Wow.
And so that happened. But as far as my sister, she was a down to earth little girl.
Yeah.
Loved horses.
What happened to the guy? What happened to the guy that hit her?
2 years jail.
That's ridiculous.
2 years
That's ridiculous.
manslaughter.
That's not enough time.
Mentally ill too.
Yeah.
How's that?
Still. But I mean, then if that's the case, he's got to stay in a facility for a period of time longer. I mean, a good period of time.
You know what? Back in them days, it was.
Yeah, everything's.
There was people
lax.
out there like that.
Oh God,
you know.
yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
it is. It's the same today. You don't really know it. You know what I mean? You know what's crazy is like there's a lot of people that are out there functioning day to day that are just way off kilter. You know what I mean? And you wouldn't even know it, and they're just like ready to could possibly tip over that day. So it's just I don't know. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. But so 10th grade that happens. When you get out of high school, what happens there now? What you leave high school, you graduate obviously, right? Good job, by the way.
I did.
Good job.
C- average.
Hey, it's all that matters, right? Do you use any of the stuff you learned?
No.
No, not much, right? So,
None of it.
yeah. But so all right.
Little math, but it's only general.
Yeah, little, very little. That's probably the only thing, if anything. At this point, you don't even know if the history is real. But anyways,
History of what?
the country and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like everything you're taught.
Well, back in them days, they were teaching history, the real history.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, you don't know if it's real. You don't know what's real now.
Oh, come on.
Listen,
I'm not gonna.
Don't get into it.
I'm not taking the culture of America that was built on freedom. Built on freedom.
No, I agree with you.
I am not going to take that history away, like some people are. In
No,
this
what
country
I'm
right
telling
now.
you is this. What they taught in conventional education and schools, that's what I don't believe in. Because if you know the history, a lot of history behind education was built in this country by John Rockefeller,
Listen.
who was the most powerful rich person in the country.
You
and
don't
he
have
said-
to tell me about the teacher unions either.
Well, what I'm telling you is that he came in and said that he'll fund the education system because there was not enough money. They needed money. But he said he had rules. And his rules were my people write the books, my people disseminate the information. And that's more a way to basically say whatever you want. So at this point, there's a lot of the past that you don't really know if it's real or not real at this point with everything
Yeah,
going
but
on now in 2020.
each decade changes with different philosophies,
That's true.
and some of the bad philosophies get progressed, as you know what I mean about that word, progressed to a certain degree that it's getting out of hand because all they're doing is indoctrinating our children.
Well, that's what I talked about this in other podcasts and with people that if I have a kid, I was gonna have a hard time sending them to public school because I see what's going on today is you don't know what the teachers are teaching these kids.
You know, Flint only has, I think, one high school left.
Really.
They used to have what, four or five.
So yeah, so think about it. How many kids are? That's what I said. How diverse is the education in reality? You don't know at this point what's being taught in these schools, and even if there is something, a curriculum, whether these schools are and teachers are sticking to it, because emotions are so caught up in politics and beliefs and opinions right now, that they're pushing that into the heads of education and children.
And I've seen it in the city I lived or close by for decades. I've seen it happen. Just the decline.
Yeah. Well, I've seen it too.
You know,
I've
it's
seen
just unbelievable. And like
planned. I think it was planned.
back in the 50s and 60s, I wish I grew up in that era. I wish I was 17 in 1958.
I always love. Yeah, that's what I said. I always love. That's why like people.
Like your dad, or
Yeah.
you like our dad.
People ask me about my tattoos, like why I got like the Rat Pack and like
My dad.
those people. I'm just like that era to me. Even though there was a lot of people doing, I'm sure, poor negative things back then. It seemed more respectable of a time to me. You know what I mean?
Everybody, like I said, it was a happier time because everybody had a job. Everybody was thriving. They were happy to have a job, and GM was providing it.
Well, I almost feel like it was an era too where like that whole.
And then politics got involved.
It was an era where men could work and women could stay home because the wealth was so even keeled. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you didn't need two incomes.
You had a wife. You had a wife staying at home, huh?
Yeah, you didn't
Yeah.
need incomes and stuff really, like big ones. I mean, how many women
My
really
mom
worked
did.
back then? Not many, right? I mean, unless there was another reason for that, they didn't allow them to really.
Well, I'm
but
sure there was some that worked, but I was only 7 years old. I don't remember.
and when were you born? You weren't born in the
61.
50s, yeah, so 60s. Yeah, so you
61.
don't really, yeah. All right, so
I seen. I mean,
you really grew
of
up
course,
in the 70s,
Kennedy. I don't
80s.
remember because I was only 2. But I remember the riots in Detroit
Mm-hmm.
and the 1968 Detroit Tigers. I remember all that.
Yeah.
Vividly.
Vividly, can you really remember it?
I remember the burnings on TV. The local news
Yeah.
show the burnings of everywhere around Detroit with
Yeah.
a helicopter and
Riots
stuff.
and shit.
Yeah.
What was that over again?
Civil rights, I think.
Yeah, right.
Same
Didn't they?
shit
I think
going
they made a
on now.
movie about that, didn't they, or something? Yeah, that's interesting. So that's. I always wonder that because I said, this is the first time I've really experienced anything crazy like this, like a year of 2020, like riots and things like that.
It's almost like
Besides, like the Ferguson and all that other shit.
it's almost like it's going around in a circle because
Yeah.
because it's happened before.
Well, if that's the
You know
case,
what-
then you can have somewhat of a belief that it could be premeditated type things because
This
it's
is
worse.
worse. They
Yeah.
just hate the president. That's
Well, yeah, we all know what that is. We all know what that is. And yes, he is a Trump supporter. So It is what it is. It is what it is.
Hey, you didn't have to say that.
Why? You are. You can't hide behind it.
I'm the silent majority.
Oh, silent majority. You're not silent at all.
No, I'm not.
So okay, let's go. We're back at it. We're back at the timeline of the life here. You graduate high school with a C- average. Great job.
Maybe.
And so well, how I was born in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. How did you get down there?
Mm.
And was she? You were born in Florida too, right? Yeah. Where? Fort Lauderdale too?
Yeah.
My sister.
You born in Fort Lauderdale?
West Palm.
Was it West Palm?
Oh, that's interesting.
Huh. What hospital?
I don't know the name of it.
So tell me how you get
I
down.
don't
Tell me how you get down there though. Like what makes you go to Florida? And when?
Because the area of Flint was just ridiculous. There was no jobs. Just no hope there, you know.
Yeah. Your brother was already down there.
And they were striking, you know, and laying off people at GM, and I didn't want it. I just didn't want any part of it. And my brother was already down there.
Yeah.
So I went down there.
Mm-hmm. What?
He said, "Come on down, man. Lots of jobs. I mean, I'll find you a job."
Yeah.
So, you know, he hooked me up with a couple of restaurant areas
Mm-hmm.
where I could go, you know, to apply, or supermarkets or whatever.
Yeah,
We had
yeah.
a supermarket right across the street, Sunrise Boulevard.
Yeah. That's where you lived.
Yeah, and man, I went down there a year ago, and that place has changed like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, you did.
Can't
Well-
even recognize it.
What do you mean?
Where we lived, you know, in the apartment that we lived in,
Yeah.
and just general, you know, just more buildings being built.
Oh, it's more.
It's more
congested.
concrete.
Yeah, more congested. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Now
It's
you
crazy.
so you go down there, and what happens? What do you start doing? Start working? Get a job?
I worked as a stock boy in a supermarket.
Yeah. How old were you?
I was probably, I was 19.
Damn. Okay, pretty young.
Yeah.
All right, so you didn't have a car, right?
For a little while, I didn't. I did not.
And then
I
what?
let me see. I was at that public supermarket, and I was talking to a girl that lived, or that was working up behind the register, and
Yeah.
she told me that her mom and dad were selling a 1972 Grand Prix,
Yeah.
and it's like a boat,
Yeah.
man. It's a big boat.
Oh shit.
I said, all right, I'll go look at it.
Uh-huh.
$500. I said, all right, that sounds like a good deal. So I gave the money,
Yeah.
and I drove this thing. I mean, I wish I had a picture of it. You look at a 72 Grand Prix,
Yeah. I'm gonna look it up.
it's crazy. The way those things changed, they
Yeah.
changed big time.
Oh, I'm sure.
And that was just my freaking Batmobile, and it was ugly, man. It was piss green color with a white top, and it was it had some dents and scratches on
Yeah, yeah.
sides and shit.
That's
I said $500. Why not?
That's great.
Drive around, and I didn't really have to go far. I mean, everything was close.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, Fort Lauderdale.
Just made it easier. Yeah.
Yeah. I lived 2 miles from the beach, and you know, I'd go back and forth. You know,
Did you live by yourself, or you lived with him?
I lived with my brother at that time, and then I moved my buddy down there, Dave. Remember Dave?
I do,
And
sort
here's
of.
the
Yeah.
thing. This is great that we're doing this, because you wanted me to tell you. Ask, what would he call you? What was the name we called you?
With your car?
No, you.
Yeah, I know, but did it have to do with your car?
No. Gosh, why can't I remember the nickname that he used to tell you?
Yeah.
Who you were?
That was my nickname.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's terrible. But anyhow,
What have you seen him? You seen him lately?
I talked to him on the phone,
Yeah. Where's
and
he?
I went down there.
Is he down there?
I went down there 2 years ago and visited him.
Oh, he's still down there.
Fort Lauderdale, yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
You don't remember him?
I do to a certain
Long-haired
extent.
dude.
I
But
do to a certain extent.
Here's a
you know.
funny story. He used to, I know what he called you. Dad Bub.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Because I had a Volkswagen Beetle,
Yeah.
and when I park in front of the apartment club complex,
Yeah.
it was hilarious.
Yeah.
You just slammed out of that front door, and you went, Dad Bub.
Oh, that's great.
It was great, it was. And that's where Dave got it, because he was living upstairs in the same complex.
Yeah.
So, Dave always was, friendly. I mean, I grew up with him in high school and all that. And,
He was from Michigan too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Swartz Creek.
Nice.
And he moved. I told him to come on down, and he lived with me and my brother.
Yeah.
And then it started getting crowded, and we said, "Fuck you, brother." And me and him got a place.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, "Fuck you, man. I'm going to live by myself."
Oh shit. Okay.
So I got a studio apartment in Fort Lauderdale, right off Bayview Avenue,
Yeah.
and it was about half a mile from the beach. It's great, and I paid $250 a
What?
month.
That's crazy. Holy shit. When was that? In the 80s?
Yeah, 80s.
Wild 80s down there. So, all right. So, let's get to where things start to get kind of real in Florida in the 80s. Obviously, it was a wild time.
That's what we're talking about.
So, now you're living on your own. Everybody's on their own. Your brother. When
Yep.
does this whole like crazy story with your brother happen? Was that I wasn't born yet, right? Or was I born?
You were born,
I was.
yes.
So
Don't
so
you
how,
remember playing that basketball? I showed you that picture,
Yeah,
that basketball game,
yeah,
and I showed you pictures with Grandpa too.
yeah.
On the couch.
Yeah.
That was in Florida.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Now
So you were.
when did that happen? So let's go back. Let's rewind to where things start to get real. Obviously, I come about, right? You meet my mom, and
Yes. I met her at Shooter's Bar and Grill,
Shooters.
and I was a busboy,
Ooh, yeah.
and I was roaming.
Oh, living the life. Yeah.
Yachts coming in. I'd go in there and clean their tables. And, hey, you want a line? Why not?
Oh shit, that's great.
Here's $50. Thanks, busboy. That happened.
That's funny. Miami, Fort Lauderdale days in the 80s. Well, so all right, so you meet her there. Obviously, things get hot and heavy. Don't gotta get crazy into that story, but I come about. You guys, keep it real.
See,
and
what was it? 1985.
1985, July 10th. Craziness.
Things were a little rough there right at that time. When I found out your mom was pregnant,
Yeah.
man, things got rough.
Tough.
I was uncertain.
Gotcha. Well, it's your first kid.
Yeah. I wasn't worried about the kid.
Oh shit, that's great. That's good. Yeah.
I just thought, man, what am I getting into? Because I've never been through. I know, of course,
Yeah, it's scary probably, I'm sure.
at a certain point, you got to know that two people that are together, they have some kind of connection going on, or they wouldn't be together.
Of course.
There's something going on there.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like I didn't have any love for your mom. I drove with a Super Beetle Volkswagen when I broke up with your mom and I lost my job down there. I said, "Oh, I got a job opportunity in Michigan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head up."
Yeah.
I had a Super Beetle, right?
Yep.
I decided to stop into Daytona and drive my Beetle down the beach
What?
to look at the bikinis.
Oh man.
But then by the time I got to Kentucky, the Beetle burned out. I was on a ramp on the highway. I said, fuck, what's going on here? And I was sleeping with one eye open and one eye closed. Let's go. Is there any some southern hick coming over here shooting me with a shotgun?
Oh shit. That's damn. Possibly.
So here's the funny part. So I'm in Kentucky, and I knew how the Volkswagen worked.
Yeah.
That I had.
Yeah.
I said, well, I'll just let it cool down for the night, and maybe it'll start. And that's what it started up in the morning.
Oh, you stayed in it? Yeah.
But I knew something was wrong. Maybe
Yeah.
the alternator going out or something.
Yeah.
And so I went to the local town there. I said, hey, I know I got a German car here, but you guys help me out. And you know what he said? There's a guy, he gives me directions, way out in the boonies of Kentucky. And he says, he works on imports, and don't worry, you'll see his house. So I'm driving out there looking for this place.
Yeah.
The fucker had like 60 Beetles in front of his house. I said, I think I'm at the right spot.
That's great. That's hilarious.
And then so I got it fixed by the guy.
Yeah.
Cost me $30.
Oh my god.
Just give me 30 in cash.
That's great.
And then by the time I got home, it burned out again.
Hey.
But I got home.
Yeah, it did the job. That's funny as hell. All right, so you get home, but you were by yourself? You drove that all the way by yourself?
I drove it all the way by myself.
Where was I?
Yes.
Where was I?
Let me think. Where was I? No, you weren't even born.
Oh, so this was before. You went back to Michigan before?
This is like when me and your mom were dating,
Oh, before the kids?
and I had it. You know what? It's really weird, Jay, because when you think about it, if I would have just kept on going that day,
You wouldn't be sitting here right now.
no,
That is weird, isn't it?
isn't it?
That's very weird. Yeah. That's crazy.
She wouldn't exist. You wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
And you know
Weird.
what? I got so depressed in Kentucky just sitting there. I didn't know. I take that back about the story because I didn't go to Michigan. When I got the car fixed,
Yeah.
I said, "Oh man, I got to try to make this work."
Mm-hmm.
And I called your mom. I said, "I want to come back."
Yeah. Hey, that's crazy. That is a wild thing to think
And
about.
then I drove all the way back to Florida with that bug.
Yeah.
I stopped in Daytona again.
That's great. That's hilarious.
Looked at my last bikinis.
That's great. I love it. Oh man. Yeah, and then I came about. So
85.
yeah, I come about, and I mean, this was your first kid. How were you feeling about that? Nervous, obviously.
Well, Jay, you were a mistake.
Nice, real nice.
I'm just kidding. Well, it was unexpected.
Of course,
You know.
I wouldn't
Jeez.
expect that it was. That's hilarious. See, but here's the thing, though. That's like the type of relationship like we have where we break balls like that.
Right.
And I'm not an idiot to know that, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I wasn't planned. You know what I mean?
But I think you already knew.
Well, yeah, hell yeah, I knew that.
That's why I'm busting your balls.
Of course. Of course. That shit don't bother nobody. Well, it shouldn't, at least. But, so, all right, so I come about, like I said, you were nervous, obviously, stressed out.
You know what?
What happened?
I'll tell you what happened. I'm not real. You know, I had a good buddy down there. Not Dave, but another guy named Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Redhead dude. And he was the coolest dude. I love him. From Texas.
Yeah.
Your mom gave birth to you in the hospital.
Yeah.
And of course, I don't really recall. I think your grandma took her and all that. Because I was doing something else.
Yeah.
I don't remember. It was something that was important, but anyhow, I found out after the important thing that I got done.
Yeah.
I found out I had a baby boy. So I went to the bar with my buddy.
You're nuts. You're nuts. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's how immature I was.
Hey. That's people's lives. I mean, I don't judge you for it. You know what I mean?
But, you know, like I'm saying, I had some rough edges. You know. I don't know if my wife at the time, your mom, was expecting me to come up because it was late and she was tired. And I said, well, I'll just wait till the morning.
Yeah.
So that's why I went to the bar. My buddy wanted to buy me a shot of whiskey. Celebrate.
I got you. I hear you.
So it wasn't like I was saying, hey, screw you, honey.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
No, it wasn't.
So now, when the situation that we get to with your brother, the situation we get to with your brother, was Jessica born yet? No?
88, I think, is when he died.
Mom was pregnant with me.
Pregnant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's coming back.
All right.
It's
Now
coming back.
let's go. Let's go down it. Get it. Grab onto it. Let's tell this story now, because it's crazy to think about. Not many people have like two siblings pass away. You know what I mean? In their life. So, how does that happen with your brother?
Oh, no, oh, okay. Well, 88. Oh, yeah. He got involved. He got involved with trying to make some quick money.
Mm-hmm. 80s. It's Miami.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure
he
everybody
was doing
was.
well with it. He was doing very well.
Yeah.
And he didn't really associate with me about it, but he kind of hinted around sometimes when I went to his place.
Yeah.
You know,
So
like,
you kind of had an idea.
So I didn't.
Somewhat.
I said, I know what he's doing because I was doing it at work, at my job, and I was only selling 8 balls,
Yeah.
making $40 a pop.
Yeah. That's wild.
And I was a busboy.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure. Like
and
I
everybody
said,
was there, you know, and I had the guy that I got it from would front it to me.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm sure everybody down there was doing stuff like that. You know what I mean?
But I got tired of it after he got murdered.
Yeah. Well, how did that happen? Or how do you think that happened? Didn't you say they thought
I
that
think
had
somebody
some?
set him up. He was tired. He was building a ranch house up in Sutton's Bay, Michigan,
Yeah.
north of Traverse City.
Uh-huh.
Building a house up there for his summer home. Flying all the time, coming back to Miami, and he was drained out of his mind. Naive Midwesterner,
Yeah.
never carried a weapon.
Really?
And here he is dealing, and I don't know what he was dealing, but one time I got in his cupboard, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because I know he had it, but I
Yeah,
didn't know
yeah,
what
yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
So I got in the cupboard, big old Tupperware like this, freaking block. I mean, it was a block.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know he was heavy into it.
Yeah. So it was bigger.
So I
bigger.
scraped a few things and put some in the bag.
Oh shit, that's great. Hey, Miami
Thanks,
80s.
thanks, brother.
Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, but I remember you telling me that like you thought that there was like a guy that they had an idea that he was involved, and you said the cops kind of,
Yep.
you know,
You gotta realize that when there's drugs and people are got a lot of tension in their heads and all that,
yeah,
people are gonna snitch
or hate because they don't have what you
if
have.
they think
type
they're
deal.
gonna get what they're gonna get. You know, like I believe that yes, these people that murdered him were friends of his,
Yeah,
and we even hired a private investigator.
that's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was
We did.
getting at. Yeah,
And one of the best buddy that he used to hang out with, was using his credit cards.
yeah, that's weird. That's a huge red flag. Huge
But
red flag.
I don't know what was, the Miami police down there.
Well, like I
Happens
said,
every day.
yeah, I almost feel like they was probably so overwhelmed with crime and murders in the '80s down there that
It was.
it's
It
just
was nuts.
yeah, it just got
It's like another drug dealer off the street.
yeah. I could see that absolutely happening. Yeah,
Of course, when I say drug dealer, I know my brother probably went down the wrong path, but
yeah.
he was doing it all for good. He wanted to build that.
You're saying he wasn't like hurting people. He wasn't going out like he wasn't out there murdering people and like
He was
what I mean?
just out there making a profit.
yeah,
That's all.
yeah.
And he was very naive because he never had a weapon.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
And the way he got killed was a blunt blow behind his head.
A gun?
And then they stabbed him.
Oh, so they hit him.
Multiple
They
times.
hit him. That would probably make me think that was a friend thing.
Retaliation.
Yeah, but a friend, like somebody that knew him because they hit him and then they hit him.
I think I know who did it.
Yeah.
I think I know who did it.
Yeah.
His name is Dean, if
Yeah.
anybody wants to know.
Oh, interesting.
Dean in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, working at the Marriott in the 80s.
Oh,
Dean.
okay. Now, did your brother meet these people down there? Like, how did he get down there? Why did he want to go down there? Just to go? Did he go with anybody from home or?
No, he just knew there was potential to make money.
Yeah, so that's
So he went down there and became a bartender, and he was an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
He really was.
yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
I mean,
He did a lot of things down there, just like I did.
Yeah,
He was a bar back,
yeah.
and became a bartender at a lot of these prestigious hotels.
Oh, really?
Hollywood,
Wow,
Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
that's cool.
Yeah.
So now,
Worked at the Marriott in Fort Lauderdale. Back then, man, it was a good bar to go to. It was
really?
hotel. It was just beautiful.
Yeah.
Right off the intercoastal.
Yeah, that's I haven't been down there in forever, Fort Lauderdale. I've been to Miami several times since, but I might have to go check that area out now. I haven't been in forever. Now after that happens, obviously things get a little crazy. How do you end up back in Michigan?
Can we take a break? I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, go take a break.
Don't ever let somebody tell you can't do something. You gotta dream. You gotta protect it. You want something, go get it. Period.